Our past is the fundament on which we build our future. No effort is too small to uncover it and to preserve it for the future generations. And no technology should be avoided. Technology, be it classical or nuclear, is neither good nor evil. Just like a knife, which can be used both to cut a piece of bread and to kill a man. Everything depends on who got the right to use it. Nuclear technology has been proven evil at its first application and good ever afterwards. It has succeeded, as we shall show you, to preserve invaluable cultural treasures and, above all, a true monument of faith, and give all of these back to those who needed them.
Natural polymers, including cellulose, lignin or collagen, are biodegradable. This is our great chance. Otherwise, the world would have already collapsed under a huge amount of waste a very long time ago. Biodeterioration is due to insects and microorganisms like bacteria or fungi. For them, natural polymers are simply nutrients. Water, oxygen, polluting gases in the atmosphere, acids from soil or those produced on the spot by aging paper, temperature, light and other aggressive agents are inducing structural modifications. They may independently act and or synergistically interfere in biodeterioration. Both insects and microorganisms have favorable condition of development in terms of temperature, humidity, air properties, or lighting. While one could say the past is lost by biodegradation, there exists also a pragmatically point of view. Biodegradability is a great concern for mankind. Why? It is quite simple. An important part of the cultural heritage inventory is preserved as objects made of just such biodegradable materials: wood, leather, textile, paper. To lose them means to lose a part of mankind's history and identity. It is rather easy to follow the course of nature. Alternatively, conservation of cultural heritage is such a complex struggle because the task is to fight against the complex rules of nature. Biologists, physicists, chemists, curators, restorers, and other experts are agglutinated for this fight, making up a multidisciplinary task force. Their work is a combination of tradition and innovation, governed above all by profound deontological principles. However, a continuous work is necessary and a lot of money is involved in this mission. Preventive conservation measures are possible and often used in museum archives or collections. Humidity, temperature, air cleanliness or even lighting must be kept under control in limited volumes with well-defined boundaries by global surveillance using central equipment. As for biological aggressors, their life cycle is so complex and their ability to survive under improper conditions is so impressive that global control measures have limited success in their eradication. The exhibits are individually under permanent surveillance and treated in case of infections. Father John, the vicar of the Izvoarele church, was confronted with a very serious problem. The iconostasis of the church was falling down. The 50 square meters of wonderfully painted panels made of linden wood was under a fiery biological attack by hungry insects. Small piles of wood powder were found every day in front of the altar. They were the sign that the iconostasis, made by old masters, working also for the king, was to be lost. Moreover, it was a rainy summer which could only make things worse. Something had to be done, and fast. Father John decided to ask the advice of the experts working at the palace castle. The classical solution was applied: injection of a toxic gas in each insect hole. It was exhausting, expensive, dangerous, and eventually inefficient. The expert was wearing a mask and worked for only short periods of time. After each of these, the church had to be closed and aired. Meanwhile, the insects developed a labyrinth going deep under the surface to places where the toxic gas could not reach. It was at this moment that Father John found out about the work done at the National Institute for Physics and Nuclear Engineering. One day he came to the institute with photos of the iconostasis. At last, the painful decision to dismantle the iconostasis and bring it to Bucharest was taken. So, one day, early December, a lorry carrying all the wood objects in the church arrived at the institute. 10 cubic meters, half of which represented the iconostasis. The irradiation procedure started immediately. Next year, before Easter, the church was reconsecrated. The church was saved. The whole project took less than 5 months.
As spectacular as the problems the multipurpose irradiation laboratory may be facing, the irradiation procedure itself is in no way less spectacular.
Based on its biocide effect, gamma radiation can be used for disinfestation purpose, also for consolidation of degraded structures. This treatment has important advantages. It is performed only in an irradiation room, a confined and protected area with no risk for the operator. No toxic or radioactive residues remains in the treated item, meaning there is no risk for restorers, curators, visitors, or the environment. The excellent penetration power of the gamma rays makes possible the treatment of complex items. Large amounts of objects can be treated simultaneously. Treatments in the industrial facilities are performed in a short time. Finally, the method has an excellent reliability and an attractive cost. Not to mention that in emergency cases, radiation treatment is probably the only method that can be used.
The iconostasis of the church in Izvoarele is back to where it belongs. During the 50 years since the beginning of the nuclear age in Romania, nuclear technology was once more used to do good, and the Institute of Physics and Nuclear Engineering is again joining the scientists of the world whose sole aim is to make of science the most important gift they can offer the society that supports them and places in them its greatest expectations.